Welcome to Daily Grace with Pastor James. Thank you so much for joining me in this episode. Today we are going to be looking at conflict. Conflict is something that happens every day, every time in our lives. And if it's not properly handled, it will derail your day's job, it will derail your focus, it will do so much damage to you that you can't just imagine. So when we talk about conflicts as children of God, it is something that occurs, it is something that comes our way. There's no way we can avoid conflict, but we can manage conflict. That is what I'm trying to tell you. The Bible itself says that if people say, I love God, but hates their brothers or sisters, they are liars. In other words, God himself wants us to look at conflict and then resolve conflict if we are in conflict. And it is something that we don't really get to learn how to resolve conflict. So most of us, what we do is we just sweep it under the carpet. And so it starts brewing and brewing and brewing until it gets to a point where it bursts and it becomes a major problem. If you look at divorce today, marriages, it is conflict. It is inability to handle conflict that results in divorces. It is inability to resolve conflict that causes friends to go apart. It is inability to resolve conflict that even cause siblings to tear themselves apart, and the enemy wants us to do that. But the Lord that we serve does not want us to tear each other apart. He does not even want us to tear our neighbors apart. He wants us to resolve conflict. Let's look at the biblical principles on how we can resolve conflict. The first thing, when there's conflict, you take the initiative. Take the initiative. Don't wait for the other person to come to you, because that is what most of us do. Oh, yes, he is the one at fault. She is the one at fault, so she would have to come to me. I'm telling you this not because I'm perfect. I'm telling you this because we all go through this situation in life. We all go through this hardened heart that we don't want to be the first to take the initiative to resolve conflict. And when you deny conflict, it rocks your life, like I told you. But the Lord wants us to be peacemakers. Conflicts are never resolved accidentally. It is something that is intentional. It is something that you have to intentionally want to resolve. So you need to take that initiative. Paul writes in 1 John 4:18. 1 John 4:18. He says, there is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear involves torment. But he who fears has not been made perfect in love. The reason why most of us don't take that initiative is because we are afraid. There are so many scenarios that we can paint here. The other person can even bluff the more. The other person can even just tell you off. And you don't want to take that initiative, but you just go ahead and take the initiative, whatever happens. Just go and do it. And then the second thing is confess your part of the conflict. Even if the other person is 99% wrong in what they have done, there's still 1% that is your fault. There's no way it is zero fault on your part. For any conflict, there's always two sides to it. And Jesus reminds us in the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 7, 3-4. He says, and why do you look at the speck in your brother's eyes, but do not consider the plank in your own eyes? Or how can you say to your brother, let me remove the speck from your eyes, and look, a plank is in your own eyes? There are so many things that we can do to resolve conflicts. Confess your own part of what you have done so that you're not trapped in that scenario that says, oh, it is not your fault, it is the other person's fault. It is never our fault. But listen, when you are pointing one finger at somebody, the other four fingers are pointing at you. There's always a fault on all parties. The third thing, when you take that initiative, is listen for the hearts of people. Most of the times, people hurt and they don't want to share it with other people. There is this saying that hurting people hurts people. In other words, if somebody has done something that is hurting me, there is that tendency that the way I want to spill out that steam is to try to hurt other people. And it happens everywhere, especially in the church. We don't have time to go through that, but just know that hurting people hurt people. James 1:19 says, it reminds us how to respond to others in pain. It says, so then, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, but slow to speak and slow to wrath. This is another critical, important, but yet difficult passage in the Bible. Most of the time when people are talking about how to resolve conflict, when you want to resolve conflict, all you are doing is you are waiting for the person to quickly finish so that you can say your own part of the hurt. But that shouldn't be the case. We need to really take time to listen. We have 2 ears, but 1 mouth. Listen patiently to the person. Sympathize with the person. Know where the person's hurt is coming from. Know where that mistake that you yourself think you've not done, but you've actually done, is coming from. The fourth thing is consider their own perspectives. Consider their own perspective. So when you are listening to the hurt, you see something sometimes that will not hurt you can hurt others. There are things that will say, we don't mean harm, we don't mean to hurt the other person, but the way it lands in the person's ears is probably not what you intended. So consider that other person's perspective as well. Philippians 2, 4-5 says, let each of you look out, not only for his own interest, but also for the interest of others. In our today's world, we are all looking after our own interest, but we don't want to look at other people's interests. And again, that is part of the things that create conflict in our world. The fifth point is for you to tell the truth. Yes, the Bible says you should tell the truth, but then tell the truth tactfully. There is a way you can tell somebody that is stupid and the person will not get angry. But there is a way you can tell the person that is stupid and the person will get angry. So let there be tact in the way you tell the person. You are speaking the truth, but then speak it in love. Ephesians 4:15 says, but speaking the truth in love may grow up in all things into him who is the head, Christ. Let us speak the truth in love. And when you're trying to resolve conflict, fix the problem, not the blame. Don't point accusing finger on the person. Focus on the issue. It is the issue you are trying to resolve. Don't attack the personality. If you do, you will just aggravate the whole thing. Focus on reconciliation, not resolution. There is a difference between reconciliation and resolution. Reconciliation happens when you reestablish that relationship that was broken, but resolution means you will never have any disagreement, which is not possible. Thank you so much for listening to me. If this message has blessed you, please do share it with others. Once again, my name is Pastor James Egodibia. I pastor RCCG Solid Rock Parish, Derby, 55 Woods Lane, DE22 3UD. If you're looking for a Bible-believing church, please come and worship with us. We have fantastic brethren. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.